I want to ask you, Joan, about like the pricing argument here, because like, platforms often, one of the arguments is like they're really expensive and underutilized often. Like the other angle to this is like you get an all-in-one tool. It's all great, single data model, it's all in one, but most teams end up only using just like 3 of the 56 things in the feature catalog. And if you were obviously to replace that platform with 56 point solutions, for sure, it would be cheaper to have the platform. But teams don't need all 56 features, and they replace the platform with like 4, 5, or 6. And the more like an all-in-one platform becomes, the more it becomes all for no one. Like the Seth Godin example there. But like I've run into plenty of point solutions, John, where like stacks were much less expensive than running on HubSpot. And there's like obviously it depends on the company or whatever, but I'll walk you through that example, and it's kind of like niche a little bit. But we were chatting ahead of this, and you were like, give me an example of like where this was less expensive. So I was at a startup. We had a fantastic organic content reach, so tons of visitors. We had a huge database of contacts for our size of company. And we moved from HubSpot marketing suite plus their CMS, and we were paying over 150K per year there. Most companies at our size at that time were probably spending less than like 50K per year because they don't have the contact database that we have. So that's kind of like the
What
niche
volume of
point.
contacts are we talking?
We're talking about like 900K, like almost
Okay.
a million database emails. So we moved from HubSpot as the suite to Ghost as our CMS. So we had all of our blog on HubSpot CMS from like day one, tons of work to migrate that to Ghost. But Ghost is a self-hosted platform, so we were paying $250 per year to self-host with Ghost. The way to do the forms, like we were still gating a lot of that stuff. So we went with ConvertFlow, tiny little company. They're costing us about 4K per year to host all of our forms on there and push all of that data, connect it with Zapier. We're spending a lot of money with Zapier because we had a lot of volume, a lot of triggers and all that stuff. So like 12 to 15K per year just on Zapier. And so like what were we replacing email workflows with? So this is where it gets a little interesting. So we were using a customer engagement tool on the product team already to do a lot of like our product emails. And my goal is to try to figure out like, can we stretch that customer engagement tool to also cover our top of funnel content leads idea? And we're a super early customer of that customer engagement platform. So we got them to honor the legacy pricing that we had, but still with like almost a million emails in the database, we ended up spending like in that like 50K range. Still all in about 70K-ish per year on the point solution stack versus 150K with HubSpot. Niche example, but that's my example.
I don't think that example is applicable because you just didn't need HubSpot. Like you weren't a good fit for HubSpot. If you were, say, like ActiveCampaign, then I think that would be a more applicable example, but I think the pricing would have been a lot closer.
Because ActiveCampaign doesn't have usage-based pricing?
I haven't looked at a pricing model in a while.
Why do you think like we weren't a good fit for HubSpot? Just because we had too many emails?
It's too many marketing contacts. It's just a different business model.
That's fair actually, but like when we started with HubSpot, like it was our first tool, right? And like the price point was super affordable then, and like SEO organic got into play, and like, here we are. Now we need to do something about it because the 150K doesn't make sense. Yeah, fair enough.
But I think that's a different debate than like that is the wrong platform. And frankly, you probably didn't need a platform, right? You needed these 3 point solutions, but it doesn't sound like that was a sales-led motion where you have even the CRM object.
Yeah, so we're using closed CRM as like the CRM kind of attached to that. The startup was closed, so we were paying $0 for using closed.
Well,
Right, so that's also not factored into the pricing.
But like actually HubSpot CRM is really affordable. Like they charge you per seats versus per contacts in the database. So last time I checked, like even if you have like 10 seats in HubSpot CRM, it's just like, I don't know, 5K per year. It's pretty affordable.
Not an enterprise, but
well, don't want to turn this episode into HubSpot pricing breakdown.
Right. One of the reasons that we appreciate the platform side of that, though, is that we don't want the silo between marketing and sales.
Mm.
Like the way the world is moving, the whole top, middle, bottom of funnel motion, it isn't what it was 10 years ago. So looking at a contact record that starts in the marketing automation platform and then migrates into the CRM, like the model isn't always that way. And when we look at our funnel reporting, that's not how we want to think about things anymore.